Oh, maybe I didn't show you these barrels. Let's check this again. Free. Think it shut off on me. Lattice. Like I said, I use this for 4 or 5 applications since I've gotten it. Different times I use it for different stuff. There's my compost again. All you do is put it in the top and wait. Just be patient. You don't need to do a lot of work with compost. You don't need to chop your leaves. You don't need to chop your weeds, anything off the. It'll just take longer, that's all. I've got 1 acre of ground. I'm doing all this on 1 acre of ground. And it's simple. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can. A lot of people don't want to live like this. They want the manicured lawns and everything. To me, it's a waste of space. My son built a gate for me. It's falling apart. I have another one over here that I'm putting together. It's all one job at a time. Always got a job to do. Isn't that the point? Having something to do. You'll see the railroad ties along the fence. That's trying to keep the dog in. Didn't work. That's why she's on a cable. She suckles every calf I get. That's why when you saw her, she's hanging. Every calf I get when it's a day old, she'll suckle it. I don't have any idea why, but she doesn't mind, and I don't care. This, more mulch, compost. This is what I'll use next year. I got to have a square yard there. This is what I'll use next year. It's got my manure from last spring, from the cow, and it's got wood compost from the neighbors. Sorry, gotta close the gate. Got wood compost from the neighbors over here. Neighbor lady, every limb that ever fell out of her trees for like 20 years is stacked over here. And I found that if I just pulled off the top branches and dug down to the bottom, there was like 6 inches of compost mulch right there. Just beautiful compost. A lot of it was used in the garden this year. Really, check out Mel Bartholomew, Square Foot Gardening. Saves you space, gives you twice as much product. This is kind of, I'll show you my failures too. This is kind of a failure. This is my duck pond. Put an old truck tarp down on it trying to hold it in. Did not work. But I do get water for the ducks come in here in the spring, and they'll enjoy it during the spring anyway. But it also catches the wet spring up there in the neighbor's yard. It comes down, I catch it here, pipe it out over to the fence line. That gets my drainage out of here. My barn's not as wet in the spring. This whole field used to turn into a pond in the spring. So I've funneled off some of the water down into there. Now my barn's not as wet in the spring. It's much more satisfactory. This, I'm going to show you next, is my pigeon loft. I'm raising white pigeons. I only have 6 right now, but again, everything was free. And it's not painted. Everything's serviceable. As you'll see, nails. No fancy hooks, just nails. Simple board. It closes it up. Used wire. refrigerator crates, oven grate for a door, nail hooks it down. Got an old storm window. I put it in backwards so that I can lift it up and down from the outside. Gives them ventilation. It's a flight board. I don't know whether you know anything about pigeons. I'm not really going to go into raising pigeons. Just want to show it to you. What I want to show you is what I've been able to do for free. This was an old door. Cut it down. Put it in. This was a tabletop. Cut it down. You can see the rusted hinges. They look like that when I put it on there because I took them out of a burn pile off when I burn a door. The floor is a pallet. It was 5x5 pallet. Made a nice floor. Set it down, leveled it up. Set it down, leveled it up, built the walls on top of it. The roost, that's a DVD stand. Found along the road. Works nice because it's got the laminate on it. The water doesn't soak into it, so I can scrape it down real easy, and I can, when I put water on it, it washes all off the other stuff. Makes it nice and easy. Just did this this weekend. Neighbor lady threw out these cabinets. They used to look like just cabinets, but I couldn't figure out how I was going to put them up here for nesting boxes for my pigeons. Thought I'd have to put some screen on or something like that. I thought, well, I'm nuts to it. I'll just drill 1.5 inch holes in them. I put 5 in each one. That gives them enough light that they're comfortable. They go in through here. Nesting bowls here. Don't have any nesting pigeons yet, but that's the idea. So I have 6 pigeons. I have 3 nesting boxes, and I have 8 purchased. Oops, sorry. One thing I will say, when you're going to build your pigeon loft, keep your ceiling low. If you can't reach your ceiling, you don't want your pigeons in it. And block off any resting area, any place they can go that you can't reach. You don't want that mess up there, and you don't want to have to climb up on something to scrape it. You spend a lot of time scraping in the pigeon loft. This is just wire, just shoved up in there. I didn't want to put board up there because I want the ventilation. There's ventilation on the other side. You need ventilation in the pigeon loft. Interior walls, I think, are important because it's a little extra insulation for them, and some of mine isn't. I just did this yesterday. This is my feeder. DVD rack. I took the pegs out of it, built that yesterday. This is just enough to keep them off of it so they don't stand on top of it and defecate in their feed. Plenty big enough for 40 pigeons, 40, 50 pigeons if I put more shelves in or whatever. But right now this is all I need, and I like the big, plenty of space. Again, keep it simple. This is a Belgian pigeon trap.